Hi, welcome back. So I'm getting ready for a clothes swap that's happening in 2.5 hours. As always, I'm not prepared, so I need to find some clothes to take to the clothes swap. But honestly, this is the highlight of my year. There's this lady, she's actually a yoga teacher, and she also runs women's cycles and things, and in this yoga studio she organises 2 clothes swaps a year. Missed the one in November, whenever it was, October, and last year somehow missed it as well, or maybe she didn't do it, I'm not sure. So I've not been to one for 18 months. This is honestly the way I get most of my clothes now. Actually, this is for my sister. Okay, for my sister and from clothes swaps, and mostly secondhand from Vinted or something. I don't really buy new clothes anymore. I buy very few clothes new. It's a sustainability issue because, as we all know, there are actually enough clothes in the world to never have to make any again. And also the whole sustainability side is makes me sad. I think it's terrible. We watched, actually with the kids, I made them watch a short YouTube video last night about the girls in Bangladesh and the conditions they work in these factories, and boys actually in factories, and some kids are like 10 years old, which is, you know, my eldest is 10, and there's a 12-year-old who had to give up school to work in a factory to pay for her sister's schooling so she can become a doctor and then support the family. And that's just, I mean, not even scratching the surface. We all know how bad it is. So many years ago I actually stopped buying things at H&M. I've never bought from Shane, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Temu. I just don't. I did used to buy from AliExpress, but honestly, all the plastic and just the whole everything is not what I stand for. So it is, you know, basically not good, and it's also not just sustainability, it's also the quality issue. And this is another huge problem that we've got into. For example, when I used to start shopping at H&M, I mean, I know it's been around for a while, but I only really started just before we moved to Germany, so the early 2000s. And I used to buy a lot of clothes that were really good quality. Here, this jumper, right? H&M. Right, can you see that? Hang on, let me focus on it. H&M. I bought this. We just moved to Germany. I bought it in Germany. It's a bit grubby, I'm not sure. It's a really nice, simple black jumper. And I actually bought the same in dark red and brown, which I now regret getting rid of. It has totally kept the shape. So this is over 20 years old, this jumper. See, the sleeves are still long. It's amazing, and it's such a nice thin, it's totally kept its shape. I mean, it's probably still polyester, I don't know, maybe not, but just the quality is so much better. Acrylic and polyester, polyamide, I can't be get old eyes. But the question is, what happened? What happened to these huge retailers? And it's not even clothes, but I will focus mostly on clothes today. What's happened to them, and what's happened to the quality of our clothes to basically go from that to, let's find something, I don't know, I guess this isn't too bad. My Star Wars t-shirt is also from H&M. This is about 5 years old, my Princess Leia t-shirt, but it's faded. It's actually too short, you know. I still wear it, but it's one of my, when I do housework kind of t-shirts. I don't have that many clothes left. I actually got rid of a lot of my clothes about 2 years ago, more than half. And then again, a third. I only have these 2 here, nothing else. I used to have a whole chest of drawers. I had 3 wardrobes full, and I had things crammed in other places. You just don't need it. So I'm going to go through my clothes, stuff. And actually a lot of clothes I'm going to get rid of are probably things that I have got from clothes swaps, which isn't a bad thing. And I got this from a clothes swap. I think I wore this in a video recently. This is actually an H&M top, but clothes swap, and it fits me nicely. After having kids, look, I'm so creased, everything's creased. After having kids, a lot of clothes didn't fit me properly anymore. So this was also the other issue, that I had to get more clothes, and I didn't want to buy new clothes. I can't really afford to buy really expensive clothes. I probably could. It's a matter of priority, I suppose, and looking after my kids is more important than myself. Vinted has been a godsend. It's just been an absolute godsend. Let me just, for example, show you something. My kids both do hip hop, and they need to have a certain outfit for hip hop in like a month's time for this performance they're doing. It's like a big show, and each group is doing their own little hip hop dance. It's really, really cool. It's really sweet. And my daughter wears kind of skirts and tights and leggings. She doesn't have that many clothes. I've really toned down from when she was a toddler, when she had all new things from H&M and, you know, C&A. I basically, she gets hand-me-downs from her cousin in London sometimes, really beautiful things. She's half French, so it's very French-inspired London style. She's a couple of years older. Always beautiful clothes from her. And then just when I can, I buy things from Vinted if she needs something. And honestly, kids don't need that many clothes. We don't need that many clothes. I only wear a capsule wardrobe, but I have a huge wardrobe. I think most of us do that. We talk about I can't handle a capsule wardrobe. But honestly, think about what you really wear. Think about what you really wear, and you probably only wear a capsule wardrobe. So yeah, so she had to get these black pair of sort of tracksuit bottoms, baggy black trousers for the performance. And I'm going, I'm not going to spend, you know, 25 euros on something from H&M or Primark that's shitty quality, that's been made by a child in Bangladesh that she'll wear once. So I went to Vinted, and sadly actually they're from Shane. I didn't realise this. So I have purchased, but indirectly, and they're really cool. Got a little dragon on the side. They arrived this morning, and I think I paid €4 for them. So if she doesn't wear them ever again, it doesn't matter, I can sell them again. Maybe my son might wear them, they're kind of boyish as well. They might start doing martial arts soon, they're kind of martial arts looking. But it's, again, you don't need stuff. So I've got this for my sister, got a vest, actually, all my top stuff to my sister. Jeans, the only thing I bought new last year were these jeans. I got them from C&A. I started a new job and I needed some kind of smartish clothes, and nobody wears suits anymore, but I wanted a nice pair of jeans, and they're so hard to get. I struggle to buy bottom things without trying them on. That's my issue, because I put on weight around the middle after kids, but I'm still quite skinny on the bottom half. So I bought these one pair of jeans. But you know, one thing new, I think in a year is fine. So look, and here we go again. This is another H&M thing I bought many years ago. It's a really cute cardigan, embroidered, properly embroidered as well. You know, not stuck on. Again, H&M. And it's also kept its shape. So anything I have from H&M that I wear regularly, I bought at least 15, 20 years ago. And really nothing less than that. So I'm not going to donate. See, I'm just going to go through some stuff. So the shittification of things. So the shittification of things in general is this whole planned obsolescence, which most have heard of. The whole story of how the first ever light bulb invented by Thomas Edison is still burning today. That's not actually true, but in theory it could be. And light bulbs are made to break after a while. Everything's made to break. Washing machines break after 5-6 years because they want you to replace them. They want you to basically buy new washing machines. So what do? They make them so they don't work properly and they break after a few years. Yeah, I don't need that. I got this from the last clothes swap. Yellow hoodie, haven't worn it, that can go back. So here we are where nothing seems to work anymore. And the irony is that even expensive things don't work anymore. You hear stories about people buying Prada handbags, really expensive designer handbags, and the logo comes off after 2 months or something. You know, it's not sewn on properly anymore, it's all just glued on. Nothing is good quality anymore. And it's not even a financial thing, it's just the quality has reduced because of fast fashion. Fast fashion isn't necessarily cheap fashion. It's basically stuff, it's made in bad conditions generally, quickly, so the quality is bad, the quality of the fabric is bad. You know, if you stretch it this way or that way, it sews better, but it's cheaper to do it width ways. My mother-in-law is a seamstress. She made my wedding dress as well. She explained this once about the way the fabric stretches. And to make it last further, they'll often use it the other way in factories, which is why t-shirts go out of shape faster. If it's not that way, it's that way. It's like a weird, the way the fabric is created. So here we are, where everything is bad quality, but it's cheap because they've had cheap labour. So it's cheap labour, we buy it cheaply, you spend €5 on your t-shirt, and then it goes out of shape. You go, well, it was only €5, I'm just going to chuck it out. So all these millions of tonnes that land in landfill every year, people don't care about because they only paid €5 for it. You only paid €15 for a pair of jeans from Primark. What does it matter? I actually have 2 pairs of jeans from Primark I bought 3 years ago, which I regret now because, you know, I haven't been there since. but I do still wear them, and I've worn them a lot. So I'm kind of okay with it because I do still wear them. And when I don't want to wear them anymore, when they don't fit or whatever, I'll either donate them or I'll sell them. I will not throw out clothes. We do have these clothes bins where you can donate your clothes that have holes in, but I don't know what happens to those clothes. They possibly end up in landfills, so I'm sure we all contribute towards it. But the key is to be more mindful how we shop, where we shop, and really, do you need that item of clothing? Do you need that t-shirt that influencer was wearing? Oh my God, you see in comments, oh my God, I need that top, I need your shoes, oh wow, they're amazing. But honestly, do you really? Think about it again, what do you really wear? How often do you wear each outfit that you have? Okay, I haven't found much here. There you go, I've got my boy's lederhosen that he doesn't want to wear anymore. How cute are these? Look. I had to take them out of his wardrobe, his chest of drawers over there, because he didn't want them. But I think they'll fit him again this year. There you go, I don't need this. It's kind of nice, but I don't wear it. I'd be tempted to keep hold of it, but honestly, I think that was also from the last clothes swap. The beauty of the clothes swap is that it's like shopping. You have the endorphins and the excitement, the dopamine hits of shopping without actually spending any money, and you're getting rid of all your shit at the same time. Obviously only good stuff. I don't give away anything with holes or that's unclean or stained. So the problem with things like Temu, Shein, even Primark, H&M, plenty of other ones, there are a few in Germany, they have these micro trends where it's obviously TikTok trend or whatever, and it's something in particular that's amazing and everyone buys it, but nobody wants to spend money on it. So everyone goes and buys it, and then they go, great, let's make some more. They make more, cheaper, worse quality. Hey, it was only €5, it was only €10. It goes out of shape, no one cares, you chuck it out, you buy the new trend, and so it continues, and so it continues. And they often use plastics like polyester, so it's not even cotton because obviously it's more expensive. Therefore it's not biodegradable, it ends up in a landfill, microplastics seep into the earth. The factories where they make these things have toxic chemicals that these people are wading around in barefoot with their bare hands, from kids to older people. The life expectancy in this particular area in Bangladesh of the program we watched last night is maximum 50. If you're 50, you're old. I mean, I'm going to be 50 this year. So by the time you're in your 20s, you have health problems. They have breathing problems, they have digestive problems, they have skin problems, all caused by the chemicals. Tons leak into the water every day. People that live in the slums nearby suffer especially, but it's not just the slum people, it's everyone. I mean, the whole country suffers. And for what? That we can basically buy the newest trend. It's so unsustainable and it's so wrong on every level. It's just so wrong on every level. So I really try to buy secondhand, thrift stores. Like I said, Vinted is a really good place. My sister often buys things on Sellpy or Vinted and then just gives it to me because it doesn't fit her or something. We swap a lot of clothes as well, we always have done. So she would take things when she comes to visit, and that's also like a clothes swap because I forget all these clothes I've lent her and she comes back with some G-Star jeans I used to wear 20 years ago, going, oh yeah, do you want them back? I go, oh yeah, wow, it's like Christmas Day, it's like presents. So it's really nice to have the opportunity nowadays to be able to do this, because back even 10-15 years ago it wasn't such a big thing. Clothes swaps weren't a thing, especially not in Europe. I think in America they were. And you know, thrift stores weren't that great. Charity shops have always been a big thing in England. I remember in school, in the sixth form, we no longer had to wear our school uniform from the school shop. We could just wear a navy skirt and a white blouse or white shirt and the tie, so the tie was regulation. So I used to go to charity shops and buy men's white shirts for like 20 pence each, and they were big and baggy because this was the early 90s, so it was kind of cool, like a navy cool skirt, and it was so cheap, and the charity shops made money, and that was a great thing. Last year I bought a pair of shoes in a charity shop in Felixstowe when I was visiting my mum. They were brand new pair of leather shoes, Clark shoes, and I paid £8 for them. And the funny thing is that I feel like I manifested these shoes. I was wearing some crappy old secondhand trainers I bought. I tend to buy shoes new. That's one thing, you know, my caveat is on buying clothes. Shoes should be new or very lightly used, especially for the kids. But I was wearing these really crappy trainers, and our hotel I was staying with my sister was a good 3 miles away from my mum's place. and there was a bus once an hour that we kept missing. Didn't want to get a taxi, so we'd walk down to the seaside, and it was really nice. It was a nice walk, but slowly my feet were just getting worn down. They were like cheapy Converse. They had no support in my feet, and I really need to buy some decent shoes, just some trainers with some kind of support on the foot. Popped into this charity shop, found these leather shoes completely unworn. They fitted me perfectly. They were so amazing. So I bought them, but because they were so new, they gave me blisters. So unfortunately, then I travelled home a couple of days later, hobbling through the airport, because by that point the plasters weren't helping at all because they were so painful. But they're worn in now, and I wear them all the time. And I did buy a pair of trainers in January. I bought some Adidas trainers because they were really cheap. They were kids' ones actually, and I'd thrown out the other ones at that point, and I needed just some decent trainers. So I bought one new thing this year and one new thing last year with my jeans, which is not bad going. You know, you're talking less than €100 on new things, and they were hopefully kind of quality. I wear these all the time. They're my only decent jeans, and I wear my trainers and my leather shoes. Those are the only shoes I have. And my winter boots, people in this neighbourhood often put out things to give away. We've done it, stick out a box, write on it, zu verschenken, to give away, and people walk by. There's a lot of footfall down our road, and they just take what they want. Kids' toys mostly. I've put some stainless steel lunch boxes out that just we weren't using, and I couldn't sell. So you know what, I'm just going to donate them. Little umbrella, whatever, just stuff. And people, a couple of houses down, put out some boots in my size, just old winter boots, and I'd said, oh God, I need some winter boots. I'd had to throw mine out because they were leaking. But didn't really want to spend money because I don't like winter, I don't like to go out, but I kind of have to take the kids to school and go to work and just general going out. And I'm walking to the station one morning and I see these pairs of boots. One, they were like Ugg boots and then some higher ones. Tried them on, I went, this is amazing, they fit. And they were worn, but they were fine, so I ran back, went, boots, and dumped them and ran off. And I did wear them when it was really cold and snowy, I wore them. So that's just an example as well. People give away things. Where my sister lives as well, they give away a lot of things. And she found me this, which is what I use to put my clothes on to sell. Someone dumped it on the street corner. She found us a toaster, which I broke recently because I dropped it. But never mind, easy come, easy go, right? So we can go back to planned obsolescence again. Our washing machine, I remember we bought it the year my daughter was born, and 2 years ago we had to replace it, so 8 years. And that was a pretty decent amount of time for a washing machine. I had to repair it about 3 times. It stopped working and I'd fiddle around, and I quite like trying to fix things. I gave it an extra year both times. So I think if we'd not tried to fix it, or if I hadn't done anything, it would have been about 6 years, which, you know, is the thing, 5-6 years and things break. And washing machines aren't even cheap. And it wasn't even that cheap, this one. It was pretty pricey. So we bought a slightly cheaper one, but more environmentally friendly, where it weighs it. And it times how much it is depending how much washing's in there. It is a cheaper make, but it's much better. It's really actually very good. So far so good, but you know, it's only a couple of years old. Our dishwasher is now 7 years old, it's on the blink, but we don't need to replace it if it breaks because, you know, you can wash up by hand. And I go through phases of washing up by hand anyway. But my mum, I remember even saying, my mum used to have a bike she got in the 60s, and my cousin, who's 15 years older than me, she would ride my mum's old bike back in the 80s and into the 90s a little bit as well. And she said it was the best bike she'd ever had. Any bikes that she bought herself would break instantly. So this solid, sturdy bike from the 60s was working better. And that's just a mechanical item. So everything is made cheaper. Everything's got plastic on it. Not everything, but most things. I mean, my phone is, I think, 4 or 5 years old. It's not working. It wasn't even a new iPhone then. It's an iPhone 11. But nothing works. It's constantly full. I've never got any space on it. It doesn't seem to want to connect to our internet half the time. It drives me mad, so I'm going to have to replace it in a month or whenever it dies. But I'm not going to get the newest model. I'm not going to get a new one. I'm going to get a reconditioned one. There's so many out there. I need a slightly bigger screen, I think, because I struggle with my eyes getting old. But I can get one lower down, which probably won't be that expensive. And I don't need it for anything really particular. I just need it to use as a phone and listen to things on. So I don't need a really brand new complicated phone. I don't need really great lenses to take pictures. It would be nice. I mean, I'm actually using a camera now, but sometimes I use my phone. I think it's good enough quality. I don't need ultra 4D whatever. Do you really need it? You know, before we had kids, we used to really like our technology. We'd get a new iPad every 3 years, we'd get a new phone every 2 years, and we were obsessed about all these new versions. You know, Apple was the thing. I even have a first iPhone, the first generation, that I bought secondhand. I didn't buy it new, but I kept it because it's this tiny, thick thing, and it's the first ever iPhone. But it doesn't work anymore, obviously, and this is a whole planned obsolescence again. Phones lose their charge, phones stop working, they won't update the software. I have an iMac that I got as part of my redundancy 5 years ago. That was a couple of years old then, and I'd bought it extra souped up because I was doing design work. So it was like super hardcore iMac that the company gave me, paid me off with. And it's now not working. I can't use Teams on it anymore for work. I have a work laptop as well, but I prefer to use the bigger one when I'm at home. It's slowly, things aren't working, and it's not that old, especially because I added extra things, extra RAM, extra graphics card, all this. It was the top of the range and more. And it's just really frustrating because they do this with everything. They do this with everything, that it doesn't work after a while, that you have to upgrade, you have to buy the new ones. There's a funny story about my brother. Many years ago, when you used to have to connect your phone to your MacBook in order to update the software, like the iTunes. I'm sure people remember that. When you got an iPhone, you couldn't just do it remotely, which is crazy because if you didn't have a computer, you couldn't have an iPhone. It was kind of weird. So he got himself a new phone, and he went to plug it in to maybe back it up from the previous phone, and then it went, we can't do it because you need to update iTunes because it needs the newer version for this iPhone. So he went to update iTunes and then said, we can't update iTunes because your operating system isn't new enough. You need to update your operating system. So he went to update his operating system and it went, you don't have enough RAM, your computer's too old, you can't update your operating system. So he's there going, now what? Do I have to buy a new computer because I bought a new phone? And he luckily had good friends, and he just updated his RAM. He added more RAM to it, which cost him a couple of £100, I think. So he had to pay extra, but his computer was then faster, and then he could do his phone. But this is another sign that how can they make you change your computer for the phone? Like, he didn't buy a new computer, he bought a new phone. It's this. I mean, luckily now you just need a phone, you don't need anything else. But it's very, very frustrating. So things are made cheaply and fast, often in bad conditions. Cheaply being the operative word. If there's low cost to you, there's high cost somewhere else. It's never even. If it's very high cost to you, generally there should be low cost somewhere else because quite often it's made in Europe or in a Western country where people are paid good wages and good conditions and don't have to speed sew through everything. But that may not be true because a lot of premium and even high-end designer shops still use the sweatshops in these countries. So it's important to do research where your clothes come from. And there are places you can look online, but the transparency unfortunately isn't so great with these things. You know, they go through various agencies and you can't basically find out who's making clothes for whom. It's very complicated. But if the cost is low for the clothing, the cost is high for the person making it. This is the absolute thing. You can't have one without the other. So it's really important to know where your clothes are coming from. Quality of clothing has got worse because no one cares about the quality. We do, but also we don't. We collectively, not us too. But it's so easy to get pulled into it. And I've been pulled into it. And I do sometimes. I walk into H&M. I used to work in my previous job. I worked quite close to a shopping centre, and I'd walk around the shopping centre sometimes my lunch break, and I'd just walk into H&M. I'd see all these clothes going, wow, I could get some nice work clothes. Oh, this is a nice dress. Oh, this is lovely, but I would never buy anything. Here's another one. This dress, that's also from H&M. It's kind of a knee-length dress. It does up. I bought this. We used to live in England. Our friend got married. I know who it was. I bought it just after their wedding because I saw someone wearing it at their wedding, and I was like, "Where's that from?" H&M, and I went and found it. I mean, this is actually polyester, so it's doesn't ever need ironing, which is why it's not creased. But it's a beautiful dress, beautiful work dress. Nothing wrong with it. I've had it seriously about 25 years. It's completely mad. So, like I said, everything that I've got from H&M still is at least 15 or 20 years old. Has kept its shape, is better quality. They used to make better quality clothes. I don't know if the working conditions were better. This is something we weren't really exposed to in the West until that huge collapse where like 1,000 people died. That awful time in Bangladesh where the factory collapsed and all the doors were locked at the back and everything, weren't there? The emergency doors, they'd locked them so people couldn't, I don't know, sneak out at break time or something. It's just awful. It's just awful that we support this, that we in the Western world support this, and so many of us don't care. We just don't care what people are going through, and we should care, and we should absolutely do something about it. And the way we can change things is by not buying from these companies. Don't buy from Shein, I'm sorry I can't pronounce it, Shein, Temu, AliExpress even. Don't buy from the really cheap fast fashion high street chains. H&M, Primark, Zara is even not so good apparently anymore. I've never really shopped at Zara. There are plenty of others in Germany. I think Orsay and Forever 21 in the States maybe. River Island used to be great. I used to love it as a teenager in England. Last time I bought something was about 10 years ago when I visited England, and it was dreadful quality. I wish I'd kept more clothes from when I was younger that were good quality, but I just didn't like them, so I got rid of them. So, yes, that's my rant. What are you doing for sustainability for your clothing? Do you buy new? Do you buy secondhand? Do you buy at all? Have you got a no-buy year going, for example? What do you think of fast fashion? Do you buy fast fashion? Do you buy designer clothes? Do you buy more mindfully, locally, really handmade things? Do you make your own clothes? Oh, actually, there's one more. There's one more. I bought this on Vinted. This is... It needs ironing as well, I'm sorry. It's a 1950s dress. It's handmade. You can tell it's handmade. It's so beautiful. I bought this from Vinted. Like it's proper, and it's got pockets. I bought it because it had pockets, and it's linen. You can tell it's got no labels in it. It looks hand sewn. It's just amazing. I mean, this is like the best. So someone made some money out of me because I'm sure she bought it cheaper. But it wasn't even ever made for a shop. It was someone probably made it for themselves, and that's just amazing, isn't it? Buying someone else's dress they've made for themselves. And it's quite a curvy shape, so me with my big hips, it actually looked really nice on me. I also try and fix things. I have a ton of clothes with holes in them, mostly for my kids, like in the knees or on the seams or something, because they're badly made, a lot of them. But I'll try and fix them. So here's an example of a skirt I've also had for a very long time. I don't even know where I got it. I think actually I got this from Camden Market maybe. It's like a long kind of hippie skirt, but it's only knee length. It's really kind of thin and it's cheaply made, but Camden Market used to not buy stuff. I don't know where they get it from, China now maybe, a lot of it. A lot of stuff was made locally, or even each seller would make their own clothes. I bought some nice skirts from Camden Market back then. But here, after many years of wear, it now has a hole in it. But that's easily sewn up. I can do it by hand or with a sewing machine. Got a sewing machine in the cellar. It would literally just be a line along here. So I'm not chucking it out. I'm going to sew it up before the weather gets warmer and I can wear it again. I used to wear this all the time. That's even okay for work, with a petticoat underneath maybe. So I'm going to sort through my clothes now, and I'm going to put you on speed so you can just see me sort things out, and then we'll have to head off to the clothes swap in about half an hour. Okay, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to watch more. Thank you. Cheerio.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us. closer every dawn.